Speaking Task 1. You will be asked a question about a familiar topic. You will then have 15 seconds to prepare your response, and 45 seconds to speak.
If the police stop a driver who is driving drunk after drinking alcohol, do you think that the person's driver's license should be taken away? Support your answer.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. Speaking Task 2. You will read a short paragraph and then listen to a conversation between two people. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the conversation between two people.
The difference in this policy from the old policy is now you only have 3 reasons to request a full refund after the first week: illness, death in the family, or military service.
Right, but that about covers it, don't you think?
Not really. In the old policy, you could drop out to help your family. Look, let's say that your mother's sick. She's not dying, but she needs care. Then what? If you drop out to help her, you just lose your tuition.
Oh, I see. So you think that there should be more flexibility?
Yeah, I think every case should be decided on its own merits. This policy is too
narrow?
Too rigid. I think at least some students will have other good reasons to withdraw, and they'll just have to take a partial reimbursement because they won't be able to document their eligibility. I'd like to see a procedure, a way to petition for eligibility. I'd like to see that added to the policy.
The student expresses her opinion of the policy for reimbursement. Report her opinion and explain the reasons that she gives for having that opinion.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. Speaking Task 3. You will read a short paragraph about an academic topic, then listen to a lecture about it. You will have 50 seconds to read the paragraph. After, you will get a question about what you read and heard. You will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. You have 50 seconds to read. Start reading after the beep. Now listen to the lecture.
So, one example of this is the macaw, the great green macaw. Now, the great green macaw is a beautiful bird, a fairly large-sized parrot known for its colorful feathers, gorgeous green feathers with some red and blue feathers too. The macaw lives in the South American rainforest, in a part of the rainforest where a lot of trees had been cut down, trees that the macaw relies on for its food and nesting. So, the macaw was in trouble. And, of course, along with the trees, a lot of other animals were in trouble too. Lots of birds, bats, and frogs also lived in these trees. So, when the trees were cut down and cleared away, these animals also didn't have a place to live anymore, and their populations drastically declined. So, what a concerned group of people in the area did was they started spreading the word about how the macaw, this really beautiful bird, needed help. They made little books with information about the macaw, with pictures, full-colored pictures of the macaw that showed off its beautiful feathers. And they passed out these little books, these informational brochures. They distributed them to people in schools and community centers in the area. And a lot of people responded. They contributed money and helped the group set up some protected land, a special area where no one could cut down the trees, so the macaw would be safe. And the macaw's population started to increase, and other birds and bats and frogs came back to the area too. Their numbers increased along with the trees.
Using the example of the macaw from the lecture, explain the concept of a flagship species.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep. You will listen to a lecture about an academic topic. After, you will get a question about what you heard. You will have 20 seconds to prepare your response and then 60 seconds to give it. Now listen to the lecture.
Okay, so let's continue our discussion of employee compensation. Today, I'd like to discuss a less common method of compensation, namely equity-based pay. In simple terms, under equity-based compensation, employees of the business receive part ownership of the company. This is usually in the form of shares or stocks. So basically, employees are paid a usual hourly wage or yearly salary, but they also receive additional stock in the company. While this may sound like it cuts into profits, equity-based compensation could in fact help save a company money. One benefit of equity-based compensation is that it stops employees from leaving. Staff turnover, which is when employees quit, can be a big expense for many companies. Initial training takes weeks or even months, and is costly since trainees are not yet ready to contribute to the company's bottom line. Some businesses feel that offering equity to employees makes them less likely to leave. The reason is that equity compensation plans typically reward employees with more stock the longer they stay with the company. Not only can a company save money by utilizing an equity-based pay structure, but they may actually generate more profits by paying their workers in this manner. You see, another potential advantage of providing employees with stock options is that they are more likely to work harder to ensure the long-term success of the business. After all, if the company does well, its stock value will go up, and any employee who owns equity will see their personal wealth rise too. Indeed, employees may actually go above and beyond their normal work duties to share information about their work on social media, email, and in conversation about their great job and its unique pay structure.
Using points and details from the talk, explain what equity compensation is and why companies might offer it to employees.
Prepare your response after the beep. Start speaking after the beep.